Hello friends, today in this video we will be building a Python compiler or IDE where you can write your own code and execute it. So something like this Visual Studio Code where you can create a new file, execute some code. So let me just launch that application. So this application is built using Tkinter framework. So if I launch this application, you will see this is the interface of the application where you can write your own code here. And this is a menu here. You can create an existing file, open the existing file or save it or exit the application like this. Let me launch it once again. So there is a run option as well. You will see run option. So here you need to run some, please save your code first of all. So here we will first of all write some code here. Let me write a print statement. Hello world. And first of all we need to save this. So if I run this, you will see please save your code first of all. So I will save this at a location inside my documents folder. So I will just say hello.py, and after saving this we can now run this. If I run this, you will see in the console here, you will see in the application itself it is showing the result out there, which is hello world, and I can execute any program of my choice. Let me again write a print statement once again, hello world. So once again you will see it will run this. First of all I need to save this, and once again it will run two times hello world. It will concatenate it. I can also perform arithmetic operations here. 4 plus 8, this will calculate 12. I need to save this, so run this. So you will see 12 will be printed out. So this is a fully fledged compiler or editor, you will say, of Python. So it will run only Python files. You can't write any other codes. Let's suppose if you write here HTML code, this will not work. If you write a paragraph here, so this is not a, it is only meant for Python files. So if you make any sort of error here, so let's suppose this is the error here. So if I save this file and if I run this, you will see it will also show you the error itself, that is invalid syntax. So it will also show the error in the application itself. This is a very cool thing about it. It will also show you the error as well. So this is the application we will be building from scratch. So if you want the full source code of this editor, you can go to the video description link. I have written a step-by-step blog post where I have provided all the source code. If you want all the source code, you can go to the video description link to download all the source code. Now let's get started by building this application from scratch. So for this you will need Visual Studio Code text editor or any text editor of your choice. Just make a main.py file and make sure that you Python have installed here. And after that we will use the Tkinter framework here. So we will, from Tkinter we will import everything, and then we will make the root window, so which will be tk, and inside this we will say root.main loop. So this is actual syntax in order to create a window here. So now we can launch the application. You will see a window is created here. Now we can set the geometry here, which is 600 by 600, the width and the height. So if I set this, now you will see this is the width and the height is set here successfully. And now what we need to do is that we will add the menu which you see in the application. So now to add the menu, it is very easy. We will first of all create the root menu here, which will be, you can call this anything. I will be calling it menu bar, and this will be equal to menu. And inside this we will pass the actual root element, which the window is object. After that we will create our file menu. Inside this we will have 4 items. We can open the file such like this also. If I click the file menu, you will see all these options to create a new file, save the file, or open the existing file, or exit. So we will have 4 options. So now to create that file menu, we will call this as file underscore menu, and we will again say menu, and here we will pass the menu bar, which the root menu, and comma, and then we will pass the second option, which is tier of, which is equal to 0. That's it. After that we need to add this as a cascading here. So we will say here menu bar dot add cascade. So here we are just saying to the Python application, just add this file menu as a child menu. So we are adding this as a cascading or child menu. So here we will pass the actual label which will be appearing here. So we will say the file, and after that we will say the actual menu which will be equal to file menu. So here we will pass the actual menu that we need to make as a child. That's it. Now if I load the application, you will see nothing will be there because we haven't added this element to the actual Python Tkinter window. So now to add this, there is another statement that you need to write here, which is now to add this. So I will just write comment as well. So add this menu. So it is very simple. We will say root.config, and inside this we will pass here the actual menu, which will be the parent menu, which is menu bar. That's it. So now we have added this menu to the screen. So now if I refresh it, you will now see the menu which is appearing here, file menu. So if I click it, nothing will happen because the child is not there. We haven't added the menu items, only the menu bar is showing us. So now to add the items, it is very easy. After that, we will add the items here, add menu items. So for adding it is very simple, file menu dot add command, and inside this we need to pass a label. So label will be actual menu item text. So here first of all we will have open, and that's it. Then we will have file menu dot add command. Then we will have another label which will be save. Then we will have another menu which will be menu item, which will be for save as, to save this file. So when we click this, a pop-up window will appear to save the file at a particular location. And lastly, we will have the menu for exiting the application. That's it. Exit. So here we can provide the command as well right here. So this will exit the application. That's it. So exit method is a built-in method of Tkinter. So if I click this button, the application will end. So now if I just show you the application, how the menu is looking. If I click the menu here, you will see these 4 menu items appearing here. If I click the exit menu, the application will end. That's it. So now our file menu is ready. Now we just need to plug the command. Whenever I hit this open button, a window will have to appear so that we can load the actual code which is available inside that window. So now guys, what we need to do is that we need to add the commands, and let me also add the run menu also, the second menu bar which is there for running the actual code. So now we will add the run menu. So similarly we will say run underscore menu, and this will be equal to menu, and here we will pass the label text, sorry, menu bar parent menu bar, and again this value tier of will be 0. That's it. And after that, once again we will repeat the same process. We will cascade it. This is very much important. Menu bar, we will add it as a child menu, add cascade, and then we will pass the label which will be run. You can pass any label of your choice, it is only dependent upon you. And then the menu will be this run menu that we have created. That's it. And now if I launch the application, you will see we have the second menu, run menu here. So now we need to add a single menu item which will be actual run. So we will say here like this. After this we can just say run menu dot add command, and here we can pass the label which will be run. That's it. So now if I run the application, you will see a menu item being added here which is run simply. So now our menu is ready, guys. Now we simply need to add the functionality. When we click the button, we need to add the functionality. Before that, guys, we also need to add the text editor where we can just write the code. So this is very much important. Add the text item where we write code. So this is very much important. So we can declare it as editor. So this will be a text widget. So just declare it as a text widget. That's it. Now we need to just show this. So we need to show this on screen. For showing this, it is very simple. Editor dot, and there is a pack method. That's it. So just call this method. Now you will see a white screen being added here where you can write your own code. That's it. You will see we can write some code here like this. And now we need to add a console window where I can show the errors. So now to add the console window, similar to this window which most editors have whenever we run the file, where we can show the errors, where we can show errors. So this is very simple. We can just call this window as code output, code underscore output, and we can, again, this will be a text window, and here we can just say the height to be 10. That's it. The height will be equal to 10. So this window will be little smaller in size. If I just show you, I think, oh sorry, we haven't packed this. So after, we need to pack this. So code output dot pack. So this line is very much important to actually add this on the screen. So basically, if you run this application, now you will see your console window is added here successfully. So now the GUI is complete, guys. We just need to um add the functionality. So we will call this, we will add the command here, which is simply command. First of all, we will execute it. So we will just need to execute the code which we write. So simply what we can do is that inside the run menu item, we can add the command here, which is run. That's it. In order to run the code, that's it. So now we need to define this function at the very top. We will declare it. I will just write the function to run the code. So we will define this function which is run, and that's it. And now we will get the data, get data from editor. So which is very much easy. We can do this by uh, we can just declare a variable here which is code, which will be equal to editor dot get. Because we called this text widget as editor, you will see this is a text widget. We call this as it editor. So now to get the item, we will use the get method, and inside this we will pass just wait, we will be passing 1 as the initial argument, 1.0 and comma, and then end. So this will get all the code which the user has written, and then we will execute this code. So there is two methods by which you can do this. I will first of all show the very simple one, which will be execute method, which is available inside Python. So here you will pass the actual code that the user writes. That's it. So now if I execute it, you will see now basically python main.py. So it is saying editor is not defined. So let me just see what is the problem. Editor, it is saying editor is not defined. Editor is not defined. So just wait, guys. I'm just seeing what is the problem here. Let me see. If you run the code here, oh sorry, I think this parentheses is not needed here. So this parentheses is not needed. You just need to write the actual method name. That's it. So this is a problem. And python main.py, now the file application runs here. Now we will write a print statement just to verify hello world. And now if I click the menu item here, which is run, click the run button, and now you will see hello world is printed out on the console. So the code is executing very fine. We are executing the code. If I click run again, you will see it will run this code and it will print out the result in the console. But this is not the ideal scenario. We don't want to print it the result inside the console. We don't want it. We want to print the result in the editor itself. For that, I will be showing you another way by which you can do this. So if I print it again, run this, you will see it will print 9 here. So it will perform all the operations, but we need this code inside the editor itself. For this, I will show another way, but for this, I will first of all need to complete all these operations. Lastly, in the last section of the video, I will show that way for you. But first of all, we will save this file here. So inside save as, we will put a command which is save as, and we need to make this function here, which is right after the, so we will write the comment. This function will save the file at particular location. So we will say define, and we will say save as, and inside this function, guys, what we need to do is that we need to make we need to store the path which the user has selected for the location. And here we will ask the user, which is by using the built-in method of Python, which is ask save as file name. Ask save as file name. If you import this at the very top, Tkinter will automatically insert this line. Because I am using Visual Studio Code text editor, so this will automatically insert the line at the very top. So just write this line at the very top for using this method. Inside this method, guys, what we will do is that we will pass the file types. So basically, we will only be saving to the Python extension. So inside this takes the array. Inside this, we will write only Python files, and here the second argument we will only pass the dot slash, sorry, star dot py. Py is an extension of Python, that's it. So we will only be saving the Python files. After that, guys, what we need to do is that we will get the path. We need to save this file, so we will say with open, and the path, we will pass the path here, and we will open this in a write mode here, which we will write here as w as file. And after that, inside this, we will need to get the code which the user has written, editor.get. Once again, we will use this code here, which will be 1.0, and in the second argument we will write end. So basically this will get all the code that the user has written inside this editor window, and it will store it inside the code variable. And then we will say file.write, and then we will say code. That's it. So this will save this file here, guys. So I can now verify here. If I close the application and rerun it. So if I run this file, click on, if I write something here like this, write a print statement, hello world, and if I click save as, you will see this pop-up window appear. So it will only save the Python files here. If I click the document section, I will just name this as sample file. So I don't need to write the extension. It will automatically insert the extension for me, which is py. Click save. And now if you open your desktop documents directory, you will find this file is added. Oh, I think you need to write the extension. You need to write the extension, guys. So again, save this. At the time of saving, you need to write the extension, which is .py. And now if you check it inside your documents directory, sample file is successfully saved here, you will see. So now the save as functionality is working. Now we need to open a existing file by clicking the open button. So this is very much easy, guys. What we need to do is that we need to go to the open command here and put a command here which will be open. That's it. So we need to write this method just after this. So this will open existing Python file, definition def open. And now to open the file, guys, we will once again use the we will store it inside path, and we will once again use the built-in method of Python, which will be ask open file name. So once again this will be importing from file dialog from Tkinter framework. And inside this method, guys, what we need to pass, once again we need to pass this thing which is file types is equal to Python files. We will only be opening Python files. So we will put a restriction here which will be .py star.py. Now to open the file, it is very simple. Now instead of opening it inside the write mode, now we will open it in read mode. We need to read the file. We will pass R here as file, and from the path itself we need to store it the code inside code variable. So now we will say file.read. We will use the read method, and now what we need to do is that we need to delete the existing data from the editor. So we will use editor.delete, and we will delete it using like this 1.0.end, and then we will insert the data from using insert method editor.insert, and then we will say 1.0 code comma code. So code is a variable. That's it. After that, guys, now the open method is complete. Now what we need to do is that we need to open this once again. If I open existing file, click open, now this pop-up window will appear. I can open this existing Python file, and now you will see some error has taken place. Let me just see what is the error. Open takes 0 positional argument, but 2 were given. Let me just see, guys, what is the problem here. Oh, I think open is a method which we can't use here, so we need to rename this as open file. I think open file. Yeah, we need to do this like, because open is a method of Python, so it is just contradicting like this. So just make this change. Once again, open this and save this, and now you will see all the content which was there inside the Python file is loaded inside the editor. So the open method is also working. So now we need to implement the save functionality, guys. So when we make any sort of modification to the file, we need to save it. So once again, we will call the same function which is called as save as. So we will attach the same functional which will be save as, because in both the scenarios we need to save the file, but in this scenario, the save button, we only need to save the modification. We don't need to create the whole file. So in that situation, guys, what we need to do is that we need to have a if condition here. So basically we will check here if dot file dot path, and what we need to do is that we need to make the path variable as global. So right at the top, guys, we need to make this path so that we can access this path variable in all the function. So we need to set this function, which is make this function custom function, which is set file path like this. And here we need to pass the path here, and like this. In order to declare global variables in Python, we will say global file underscore path, and then file underscore path, file path. So in the next line, what we need to do is that file path will be equal to the actual path which is passed to it. That's it. So basically now we can use this file underscore path variable inside every function. So whenever we let me delete this line here for now. When we save this file, at the very last we can call this function which will be set file underscore path, and we can pass the path which the user has selected. That's it. When we save the file, and when we open the file also, in that scenario also we can set this, we can call this function, we can pass the path. That's it. So in that way, this path is available to all the function in all the scenarios. Now we can use this variable, guys, inside this function save as. We can declare the if condition here. If file underscore path is not defined, double equal to. In that scenario, we know that the user has making this file as a new file. So the file doesn't exist. So the very first time you need to make this file, we need to open a pop-up window to save this file. So I will copy this code and I will move this code like this. That's it. And in the else scenario, else if the file path already exists, so in that scenario, we just need to save the modification that the user has made. So we will just initialize the path to the file.path. That's it. File underscore path. That's it. So we don't need to save the file once again. So this is a save option which is implemented here. So we just need added a if condition here. So in both the command here, we are calling the same function, but in this we are just comparing in a if condition that if the file already exists, then we are just taking the existing path and storing it inside the path, and then we are again storing, writing the changes which the user has made. That's it. So now after making this modification, now we can implement the result here. If I open the editor, if I open a existing file sample, if I make any sort of change here in this file, print again, I add this file, print hello world. And now instead of having save as, I will just put save. That's it. And now this will save this file. And now to cross check, I can open this file once again, sample file, and now you will see this contains 2 lines of code here instead of 1. So now all the function, all the things are working now. Exit is also working. And now I will show you the way by which you can run the code in the editor itself and display the error as well. So for this, guys, we will need a special dependency which will be sub process. So right at the top, you need to add a dependency which of Python, which is a built-in dependency. You did not have to install it. The dependency name is sub process. So just include it at the very top, and now we will move to the run function. Now to run this code, and here we will just, if you just go to the blog post, you will find all the source code what we have done here. If you go to my blog post, you will see I will just copy paste this code and I will explain you what I have done here. Let me just paste this code here inside this function, paste it. So now, guys, first of all, we are checking if the file path is not defined. In that scenario, we will again prompt the user to save the file. So I will say to the user that please save your code, and we will just display this heading to the user. Or in the best scenario, we can again call a save as method like this, save as, because we have made this method. You can see we have made this method here, save as. So we will just prompt the user to save the file first, and then you run the code here. So after that, we are executing the code. We are taking the file underscore path variable. You can see f, and in single quote we are passing Python followed by the actual path of the file. And then we are declaring process variable, and then we are using this method, which is actual method subprocess.popen, and then we are passing the actual command, and then we are taking the result in a standard out variable and standard error variable also, which will be extracting the error. And then the third option, which is shell, is to true. And then the consecutive lines, we are just inserting the output and the error if it is existing. So after doing this, guys, if you now open your application, you will find now if you write any sort of Python code, hello world, and now if I try to save run this code, you will see it will have this problem here. File path is not defined. So it is saying that file path is not defined. Let me just see. 21st line, it is saying file path is not defined. Oh, I think we haven't said this. So just save prompt it. Just revert to this thing here. We don't need to save this file. So once again, if you run the application, if I write this line, print hello world, if I click run, you will see file path is not defined. I think I have made a typo mistake here. So what you can do is that copy paste all this code here. I don't want to waste your time, so I can just copy paste the code here. I made a just typo mistake, so that is why the error was taking place. So simply paste this code and now the application will run smoothly. So if I run this, if you just write anything, print hello world, if you click run, so it will say please save your code. So save your code at a particular location, sample.py. And now if you run this, you will see hello world is printed out. If you make any sort of error, let's suppose, first of all, you need to save this code, click run, you will see the error is taking place. You can see. So now in this video, guys, we have built a fully fleshed Python IDE inside Tkinter framework, which is a desktop GUI framework from scratch. If you want the full source code, go to the video description link and download all the source code. And please hit the like button, subscribe the channel, and also comment in this video. And I will be seeing you in the next video. Until then, thank you very much.